texting my son to please shush that dog.
I said that was quick.
It
Okay.
was, right? Please shush
His
the
phone's
dog.
upstairs. He's downstairs. He won't hear it.
He went back upstairs. Unfortunately, he failed to take the dog with him.
Good morning, Joe.
Wawa is going wild, wild.
There you go.
And
Hey, Meg.
Joe, hey Meg. I'm missing Meg.
I know. Well, they thought
Hi,
it would be
Deidre.
smarter to do it this way. I don't even do Zoom.
I don't either. Not worth my time. Just saying. I got more.
No,
Well,
and even the all day is going to be by Zoom. Why are people going to do that?
you know, I don't
Hey,
have a
Carol.
clue,
I
but
know,
I can
right?
tell you this. I write till 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't
Well,
know
when a
about you,
person
but
goes through and they go over something and it's like, oh, I have a question about that. Can I ask that question? Blah, 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 blah. Well,
right?
now you can't do that on Zoom. You just have to start jotting things down and amongst your notes.
Well, let me go to, well, and since we're not at the hotel, again, I'm writing till 6 a.m. So I'm not going to get up in 3 hours for Zoom. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't ever remember it.
Oh, Meg's going to be an artpreneur. That
Yep.
is amazing.
She said that
Yes.
last couple times. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
The crew back
Happy
together
birthday.
again.
Yes, we're going to have fun. I love Trilith. You'll be in my neck of the woods, Meg. I can show you around. It's a pity I can't get there by golf cart, though. Almost, but not
Oh, I
quite.
missed it. And April's all day, so
I know, right?
I don't know
Echo,
about that.
me either. I'm dying to see the book. I can't wait. Well, actually, wait, no.
But you got
I'm
some there.
lying. Well, no, but I'm lying because I got to sign thousands upon thousands. It is 20 pallets that will be delivered to my house. We're going to be like the cask of Amontillado.
I was going to swear in the word you going to put them.
We don't know yet. Carol, what are you doing that weekend?
What weekend?
Whenever they arrive, I don't know yet.
It depends. Some of the weekends I'm going to be out and about.
I need you that weekend, and I cannot stress how much I will need you that whenever they come in.
Just pray it doesn't come in on Entrepreneur.
Well that too, but I'm praying it ain't raining. Because
True.
if those books come in when it's raining, you're gonna see me cry like a baby. I don't know what we're gonna do.
I guess we just
Aw,
have to downstack them
I
as high as
guess.
we can lift them.
Oh, thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate that. Yay. Um, no, it should automatically go to Twitter. Twitter.
That works too.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, I didn't. Well, I think I did tell you. I didn't tell everybody else. Oh, there's Kim. Oh,
Yep.
Kim.
Kim says
Bless
she'd be
you.
there.
I may borrow your basement. Kim.
Now we may
You
have
got
to
all
rent
the.
a trailer.
She's
Yeah,
got
a
all those
toy hauler
wonderful.
just to shove them
Well,
in
no,
there.
her car's big. No, she got rid of the really big one, but she got those nice shelves in her basement. I vote for that. I love you, Kim. I love you so much.
Yeah, but we'll have to transport them over there.
I know. Oh my God. I'm just not even. Who do I know
That's
with it?
not.
Oh, Haley has a really big car. So yay! Oh, Kim, I love you. She's like basement
Yeah,
is in.
see?
We may intrude on you. Don't worry, it'll only be for a week at the most because we got to get those things out. Of course, Sherry was having last night a panic attack, going, "How are we gonna get all these books out?" I'm like, "How am I gonna get them signed?"
Right.
Because I mean, gosh, between the two, it's something like 12,000 books.
Yeah, so you're going to have a case of Post-it notes.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God. God have mercy on my soul. I love you guys know I love you. In fact, I would volunteer to sign 20 skids. And I'm thinking because my brain goes to Comic Con by default. Like we only have with the booth and everything 3 skids for Comic Con. And that includes all the stock, all the bags, everything that we take. And we take a lot to Comic Con. And I'm thinking, okay, there are 20, it's almost 7 times as many as what we handle at Comic Con. Oh, God hates my guts. What was I thinking? What I'm thinking is cards are much, much smaller, and they would be
Okay.
easier. So, any news? Deirdre wants to know if there's any news. Not well, the news tarot cards.
You just have to
The big,
start at the top and work all the way down from releases,
you
catching up,
know,
who's next.
God, yeah, I know. It's like, no, we're almost. For those who don't know, the 23rd today is like the worst day in the world for me. Bad things always happen to me on March 23rd. I hate March 23rd. I buried my mama. You know, my granddaddy died. The he who shall not be named. I've had all kinds of crap hit me on the 23rd. So it's like, can I? Is it midnight yet? Get me to midnight, please, please. I can sleep once we reach midnight. Oh, hey, James, how are you guys doing? That was a lot of fun. We need to do Huntsville. Well, okay, Huntsville. For those who were not in Huntsville, we had a tornado,
Yeah, yeah, really.
and that was
Lost
quite
power for
interesting
half a
on Sunday.
day.
Oh
That
yeah,
was an
yeah.
experience.
Oh my gosh.
That was an
Oh,
experience.
I will give you plenty of tacos. That I like that
I
bill.
know,
That's
right?
so much.
That's all. That's all we cost. Tacos.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Dionysus. I appreciate that. Oh, Sherry's got a good one. Here we go. We're working on that. We got all the semi boxes out. I don't know if I even told
keep
you that,
teasing,
Carol.
keep teasing.
All
Boom.
I know, right? All the semi boxes are now officially out. We're waiting for the T-shirt. We can't do Nick. For those who don't know, Nick has a T-shirt, so we're waiting for the shipment. I don't know what's taking so long. I've been kind of naggy, and I hate to nag, but I have been a nudge for the last few days. Where are the T-shirts? Because we actually would like to get the Nick boxes out um, before we start the books because yeah,
Be more helpful that way. Yeah.
I know, right? So yeah. Thank you, Debbie. I've been thinking about Debbie. Debbie, how are you doing? Oh, I am sorry, Julia. The second is her bad day. Oh, yeah, we should not have bad days. How did Ash's uncle die? Sticks killed him. I don't. I hope that's not a spoiler. But yeah, no, Sticks got him.
Well, if it wasn't, it's gone into the ether now.
I love Meg. Meg's the best. Okay, here's the deal. I'm happy to have you, Meg. Take the dog with you.
Uh-huh.
Please. No, I love him. He has chewed up so much stuff this week, though. He ate my couch. For those who don't know, the dog actually ate my couch.
Yes.
And I have pictures. And I remember, telling people, I'm like, this is proof that I do not overreact to anything. I tend to underreact
Yeah, really.
because my son was like, they were trying to disguise it. And then I think it was Ian who outed Maddie. And he's like, he pulls it back. He's like, Mom, it was not my fault. I just looked at it, snapped a picture, and said, okay, y'all got to sit on that.
That was a preference. Mom, this is not my fault.
I know, yeah. Don't blame me. I just shook my head.
Oh my
Like I said, I
goodness.
snapped a photo so that now it's like next time I tell you to watch the dog, I'm just going to pick up my phone and go, watch the dog. So yeah. Yes and no on this, Deirdre. I'm waiting to hear back. They're working on it. So, but they tend to keep me in the dark. I have no news, but good news, but no news. At least I hope. If something went south, they have not told me yet. So far, everything's moving ahead. But I love one of the producers who's English. He's very funny. He said, here's the thing: until you're on set eating a baking sandwich, we don't consider it a done deal. So that's now my new thing. If I'm not on set eating a bacon sandwich,
I guess that's one way of looking at it because we had to hold on to that.
Oh, Christina, I would never do a signature stamp. That is just so wrong. I people have suggested that to me a lot over the years, but I promised you guys I would sign them all by hand. So, is that you? The beeping?
Jim microwave some coffee.
Oh, it sounded like one of those. That's what I miss about. I'm getting distracted about Cherokee. Tish, my friend Tish, our friend Tish,
Yeah.
had a bird, and she could make that noise. So you'd be
Well,
sitting in his office, and you'd hear Cherokee just start going, and you'd look around, going, "Is there a truck?" What? First time I heard it, it freaked me out. She could also make Star Wars noises, which is very cool.
that's awesome.
Ah, here we go. It is pronounced impulse. That's, you know, I like that word. Oh, yay. I'm glad you like your sumi box. Yay.
And the keychain has disappeared.
It's a cool keychain. I liked it. I thought they did a really good job on these keychains. Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Ate the clothes. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, I feel that pain. Mine goes after shoes. I would love, and I keep toying with Caleb, but Caleb is so still, it's hard because he is so in love with Lily. I don't know if he could ever, after his wife, if he could ever love again, really. Because, yeah. And it was interesting doing Queen of All Shadows with Caleb. And what do you call it? I can't remember Jaden's book because I can't remember the title of it now. It's very interesting because you do learn a lot more about him, and he is such a complex character that I don't know. Maybe one day because he does have such an interesting little story. Him and Zev both do. So yeah, see, Joe, I agreed. It did. It sounded like a truck reversing. Oh, here you go, Carol. Carol,
I've read all of hers. I'm like you
thank
guys.
you.
You start in the middle and then you go backwards and forwards till you capture them all. So yeah, yeah, exactly.
I would love to say I've read all of Carol's, but sadly I've only read Mitch. I'm trying to get. This sounds terrible. I'm trying to get through them.
There's no
It's not
time.
because they're bad, they're amazing, but the problem is I got a million I got Kickstarter, the new Kickstarter, and let's face it, we got a lot of books I have to write, and I'm trying so hard to get caught up. So I'm hoping to get to more.
Yeah, we'll
So
catch a day
yeah.
here or there. I have pictures of
Well, one
Rex,
thing,
but they also have you in pajamas, so I'm not going to show those.
oh yeah, please don't. I'm always in pajamas. What are you talking about?
He's as tall
I
as
will.
a bar, okay? Because
He's
his
taller
nose
than
is
I
right there
am.
on top of it, and he's like, I don't know, as big as a couch. He's a big guy.
Well, we've had a pub table. Yeah, he's a great dog. We have a pub table, and he still can snatch food off of it without lifting off the ground.
See,
You have to block him out of the kitchen because he'll come by, especially with the baby, and there he is.
it's
You're
all
like,
done.
that tongue is, I swear to God, like this long, and it's like a frog tongue. It
He's
has
magic. it
sticky stuff on the end of it. He's scary. He's so scary.
exactly.
Jason,
Oh,
I think it'll probably be next year at Huntsville. Or
really?
we don't have another trip to Alabama, do we?
We what?
We don't have another trip to Alabama, do we?
Not that I know of. I don't have any on my calendar. Just the Comic Con that we're in.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be next year. Sorry. Hey, girl. Yay, it's another high school, but well, we've known each other since elementary school. I met
So,
Fonda.
I don't know the years.
Idiot. I know. Hey, Fonda. Oh, honey, not only do you learn a lot more about Nick. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Wait, did I add new Nick? No, Nick is in the new season. No, no. I'm trying to remember now. Y'all have to remember. It's been a minute now since I've done these.
Yes.
Um, he's in what I'm thinking are the new scenes with him and Ash that are in Queen of All Shadows. And the best part about Nick is we have the new books coming. Stay tuned. You got new Nick books that are coming. So, hi. Here's a good one for you. I'm going to let you do that one first.
I think we're all impatient writers. Um, and it kind of depends on the book. When I first started, it was real easy for me to go through and blow through a book in about 3 to 4 weeks. I write about 180 to 200,000 words. Um, and then a lot of life started. So, different schedules, different feeding schedules, different people in and out of the house and this kind of stuff. And then now hitting the road and stuff, it takes a little bit longer to go through and sit down and write. But whenever I can grab a minute, I try to go through and sit down and put in at least a page or two because it keeps the story going. So in your head, you want to go through and keep moving right along. So then it goes through and it shows that you're doing progress, and yet the story is being told out of your head and onto paper for your reader waiting to read it. So it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's like
For
this.
me, yeah.
These
Oh,
are short
yeah,
stories.
yeah,
Yeah, these
yeah.
are short stories that I started writing about 5, 6 years ago, and then I
And I
uploaded
do
them
want a copy of that.
just
I
as
do want a
ebooks.
copy.
Right now, they're up for proof because I got them for pre-sale. Um,
Ah,
but yeah, I wanted to go through and get my proof in and go through and see how it is, and then um, but then
I'll
I put
give
them
you a quote.
together as an anthology and started shopping it out, and nobody wanted to catch it because they're steamy. That's why it has risque on it. And without going through and telling me, oh, hey, we want to do this, then I was just like, well, okay. When I got the last rejection letter of about, I don't know, 15, then I was like, okay,
Uh,
that's cool. No problem. I'll do it myself. So that took me about a week to go through and get with a cover artist and go through and throw a quick cover together, put them all up, and then boom, there you
I want a copy. I will give you a quote.
go.
I'm so excited. That one, because she's talked about it so much, I'm dying to read that one. So I got to get it. Next time I see you, I want a copy.
Okie
I will
dokie.
pay you, but I
I
got to
will
get a
get some.
copy.
I will get some.
For me, it depends on me. I mean, if you, ouch, I just bumped my elbow. If you're talking about a book, or this is not, well, it is a book. It's a novella. It's a long novella. Most novellas are 100 pages or less, usually about 80 to 90
Right.
pages. This one was 200. Um, so if you're talking about a novella, those sometimes I can get those done in a weekend, or at least I used to could. I'm still, although I did have a 45-page day, Miss Carol, I did get up to 45 pages.
You did.
Um,
Yay.
but a book like this is obviously going to take me. And Carol saw this one. This one was originally 1,200 pages or so. Um,
Exactly.
so it really, how fast I finish a book depends on the size of it, and if we're
Right.
talking before or after the divorce. Before the divorce, I've actually got it right here. This and Fantasy Lover, the two I love to show to people. I wrote this in less than 2 weeks. It was terrifying how quick I tore through that one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I did the same with Fantasy Lover. The kids were away. It's like whoosh. Um, and I had the idea. The idea for that one I had had for a couple of years too. So there wasn't anything I had to think through. I knew exactly where I was going with the book, the characters, and all that. And that makes the difference too with me. If it's league book, Dark Hunter, I don't have to figure anything out. I know these characters intimately. So telling their stories, even one like this, which is Bad Moon Rising, and it's huge.
Awesome.
It
Yeah.
didn't take maybe 2 months from beginning to end on that one. Um, so but that being said, I always tell people, don't feel bad. Remember, at first I've been writing since birth. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
But now because of all the stuff that I was dragged through, emotions make a big difference. when you're going through crap, it's hard. It was 3 years after my brother died before I could write another word. And prior to my brother dying, you never saw me not writing. I mean, I wrote book after book after book before
Right.
my brother. And it took the wind out of my sails. And of course, the last 2 years have hit me like a hurricane, and I'm still coming back from that.
Yeah.
So, right now, my goal per day is 1,500 words, which is what, about 7 pages roughly. I don't always
Mhm.
make that, but some days I do more now, but it's taken me 5 years to where I can get to 1,500 words. So do what you can do.
Yep.
And remember, if you just write 1 page a day,
Yeah.
at the end of the year, you will have finished a novel. So, you know, that's my advice. I wrote a book about my theory of what happened with Atlantis.
Mhm.
I love Atlantis. Um, yeah, I do think because the Egyptians wrote about it, the Greeks wrote about it. I do think there is an Atlantis. The question is, where, because there are so many islands that we know that have been lost and have been swallowed. So yeah, it's more a question of where do I think it is. I do think that it's either in the Aegean or up by the rocks of Gibraltar, but that's my theory. That just, you know, but yes, I do think that it was a real island that I think something like Pompeii happened to it where it just got swallowed. But what about you? What do you think, Carol?
Yeah, I believe it existed. I don't really have a theory about what happened. I'm kind of open minded on everything. They keep finding clues and hints and things that there's so much of it out there you really can't go through and say, oh, well, yeah, we'll just blow this off because it's somebody yammering about a theory, whatever, this kind of thing. So I think there's probably enough proof out there that will eventually find the foundation. Hate that it's gone. There you go.
Yeah, I love that Dionysus. That is one of my favorite lines too. I and it was one of those where you wrote it and you're like, should I take it out? It's kind of cold, but no, it's okay. And oh my gosh, Dionysus is an army person. We love you. And thank you for your service. My daddy was
Yeah.
army. I was actually born at Martin Army. So much respect for that. My daddy was a drill sergeant, so much respect. I had basic training for 20 years. Yeah, I wish I were joking. My dad actually did bounce the quarter on the bed and come in with a white glove. You're like, I did not join this army. I was drafted and I don't like
Yep, they
you.
make those corners tight on that bed when you make it up every
And
day.
everything was triplicate. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It's like, stop. I got it the first. And my favorite was one, and because my dad was so, I actually thought, okay, I'm all over the place. I thought when I was a little kid that my dad ran the army and owned the army because, when they're drill sergeants, everybody does exactly what they say.
They jump.
Yeah, they do. And way back when I was little, which is a billion years ago, they actually would let me go to work with my dad. So I'd be sitting there like the Jeep with the helmet on and, ringing like a bell in my head, eating my Pop Tarts, watching my dad yell at everybody. So, and it was quite an experience. But yeah, no, oh my God, my dad needed to take a chill pill. But he would do things like in the morning, put your shoes on, Jerry, Jerry, put your shoes on. And I'd sit there and very slowly put them on. And I mean, if you could have seen the way I laced them, I'm amazed my dad did not have a stroke just having to deal with me. And I just smile up at him. I'm doing it, just not, it was, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, Sasha's actually going is the book's done. Queen of All Shadows. We've got Sasha in that. So this is a good one, Susan. Some of the semi boxes are back up for sale. We had leftovers, so Sherry One R has put the boxes up for the remainders. Nick is on hold because we've got to make sure we have enough T-shirts for everybody. We did order some extra T-shirts in different sizes, but I don't know how many extra we have. So until they all go out, there won't be any more Nick books, Nick boxes available for sale. But if you're looking for semi, you can nab some right now. If you look at the little ticker thing by here, queenandsparrow.com, is where we're going to have them. Or no, it's not Queen and Sparrow, yearofasheron.com. And if you go there, it'll have the little pre-order button. If you click the pre-order button, that'll take you to where you can pre-order them. That is explained. And I'm trying to think, would it be a spoiler? But okay, I will answer this part. No, she does not. But I do think it was explained. Was it One Silent Night? It's in one of the books. It's been a minute. It's one of the longer, or not longer, older books. Um,
Yeah, one of the
I want
earlier
to say
ones.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry. My brain's like, wow, which book? Because it's like one big story. I know I did explain it in one of them. That one seems right. If not, it may be in Sticks.
Okay,
No,
everybody
no.
start from the beginning. Start reading again. We'll find
Yeah,
it.
and then tell me which book it was in.
There you go, because
But
they're all on the
no,
bookshelf.
yeah, because I did explain that. Yeah, and because I think there's a scene too, and God, it's bothering me because I know I put it in one of the early, a long time ago, yeah, a book I wrote about 20 years ago at this point, um, at least 16 years ago. But yeah, it's in one of them. But it's definitely dealt with in the next. Not it's not in Queen of All Shadows, because there is a scene. Actually, there's two scenes. I'm not gonna get spoilers though. I'm doing this.
You're gonna creep right into that territory to be out before you know it.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here you go, Carol. I'm gonna let you answer this one.
Oh, because we don't get writer's block.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I get writer's block, mainly because as a pantser, as a total pantser, I can't tell you what happens with the story until the character tells me what happens in the story, and then I write it down. So, as far as being able to go through and plot anything or chart anything or plan anything, the characters, and I learned this like by the third book or so, the characters aren't going to fit into a place where they aren't comfortable. So for me, I just have to, if and they will, they went through and would upset me, and I would take them all to breakfast and sit them down at the big dining room table. I'm like, okay, y'all just sit there, drink some coffee, and think this stuff over. And then when you get your heads all straightened out, and come back to me, and we'll talk again. And sometimes that would take a week, um, before somebody would stand up and go, "Yeah, I'm the one in the room that messes all up." So this is what happens. This is really what happens. So then I can get back on the computer and go ahead and get that all straightened out. So if that's, I guess you could say that's a form of writer's block because the characters don't do what you want to do. So you just wait till they get their stuff straightened out and then go
I will agree with that. But
ahead.
I was for I never and I didn't. With this, I've had writer's block twice in my life.
Yeah. See.
My brother, my brother, and because I wrote when my mother had cancer and I was in the hospital with her, which was very, very hard. But I still was writing and writing remarkably prolifically um, those last few years of her life. But I think because in the case of my mom, you knew it was coming. It was just
Hmm.
sad. It's harsh, but when somebody's suffering like that, it's hard to lose them, but at the same time, there is the relief that she's not having to deal with all that horror that she had to deal with the last few years. But you know, the other time being my divorce, and that was more. You can't focus. In my case, my writer's block is caused by I can't get into the characters' heads. And until I always call it, I can't write a book until I find their pain, which sounds weird, but I know I have the character and that I'm ready to develop the story when I understand that one. We all have, I call them Darwinian moments. They're the moments in your life when you think back, this changed me. And we all have, like my brother died, the divorce. I lost all ability to believe in our system of justice in both cases, to believe in just the way things were supposed to be. I mean, it was being ripped out from under me. So my writer's block is a little different. And when Matic has it, I've noticed with Matic, he gets it when he's written himself into a corner and then he doesn't know where to go with it. And what has helped him is if he goes and just does something mindless, like take a walk with the dog. We actually do take a lot of walks together and, just talk the story out. And that seems to really motivate him and get him out of whatever spot he's going into. So I think it depends. Writer's block is a generic term that I think covers way too much ground because it can be something as simple as I just need to pick up the thread. So if I go read from the beginning again, I'll catch it. To
Hmm.
I am going through something excruciating. And it's why the Dark Ages are called the Dark Ages. The reason why we didn't have a lot of fiction coming out during that time period is it's hard to focus on, hey, let me write the story about, Hilda and Sven when I've got Vikings beating down my door. Your brain is focused 100% on survival. So I think that but that's a whole different animal. You have to get into that place. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have to be fed, you have to have the roof, you have to have the basic human elements met before you can reach that next level in order to create. So
Hmm.
I think it just depends on the kind of writer's block that you're dealing with.
There you go.
And here we go. Hi, Robin. Glad you're here. I do not have a date yet. I am still waiting for the date. That was one of the bad things. You ever get pulled out of the publication cycle? It takes them a minute to get you back into it. I do have a couple of dates for next year. Um, and now I can't remember. Oh, Nick. I got dates for Nick. I've got dates for Secret War. I think there's one other that I don't know why I can't think of it, but I know. Well, I just got it for one thing, but I can't remember which book it's to.
Um,
But all those are on the website, so yay! And then we have a question from Ohio. Hey, I may be going to Ohio. Maybe I got to check with you. That was one thing. I'm hitting my thingy.
you talking about
Um,
Liz?
Ohio, you and I. I got to see if your schedule's free. I just got an invitation to Ohio. I hope we get to do it. I want to go to Ohio.
Okay. Do you know when?
I want to say December, November.
I'm good. I'm good.
I think
I'm
it's
pretty
like
sure I'm
2
good.
weeks. Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks after, what do you call it? Oh, my where are we in November? Readers and Ritas.
Yep.
So, I think it's 2 weeks after that, but let me check my calendar because, yeah, I haven't that came in last night, and I meant to talk to you about it today, and I was writing, so anyway, will we find out who and why? Yes,
Okay.
to
That's
all
fine. The first between the last week and the first week of December, or last week of November, first of December. That'd be cool.
yeah, I think it's around my birthday, so anyhow, but yes, to answer your question, Melody, um,
Yay. Okay.
the next book, Queen of All Shadows, which is Xander's book, deals with all of that. So you get to find out all kinds of cool stuff. So, oh, and I'm glad Bellador was a lot of fun. That was actually, it was weird because I was playing in Diana's world. So writing the Belladors with me and Diana was, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Vicky, you made it. Yay.
Hmm.
And so, yay.
There
And
you
then
go.
I have, many times I have. Especially Achilles. No, well, I haven't thought of doing them in Atlantis. Okay, let me back that up. I have thought of doing a lot of the Greek heroes because that is my training. Sing to me, O goddess. Um, I love my Greek heroes, so yeah. But I've never thought of putting them in Atlantis. I think mostly because Atlantis belongs to my Dark Hunters, and you know, yeah. But what about you, Carol? Have you ever thought of doing that?
I actually wrote one, and I thought about making it go ahead and adding a couple because I started with, because I love horses. Um, um, Now I can't think of who's the blacksmith.
Oh,
Hephaestus,
Hephaestus?
right? Yep,
Yeah,
that's the
Hephaestus.
one I wrote. I wrote his story, and the way we brought him back down to earth and got horses and things. It's a big thing. Um, and it was going through my critique group, and I got really good critique, so I can go forward on it. And now I just haven't been back to it to go through and finish it. So yes,
So you have been playing.
I have, because why not go back to some of the first romance, and I don't mean kiss and hugging. Some of the first romance figures that we ever really immortalized, and go through and see really kind of what happened. So there you go. Cool, huh?
Right?
Yeah, so why not go through and
Um,
see? I mean, it's a cool.
right? There, Greek mythology, it has so much, and Roman, and well, all myths. I hate it. I
Exactly.
always hate to call it mythology because I think it's kind of
Yeah,
disrespectful. It is their religion. So, and I have friends who actually still, are oh gosh, my brain, Ishtarian, or one of my best
right.
friends actually in high school was Ishtarian. So yeah, to me, it's kind of disrespectful to call it mythology. So yeah, but there's so many great legends. How about that? That I would
There
love.
you go. I like that one. Because
Eras,
I ain't ashamed to admit I will go through and reach out for one in a minute when I need that strength or I need that clarity based on what our thoughts have gone through and created of that name. Yeah, yeah, I'm there.
yeah.
Hmm.
But yes, Eras. Cyprian is in the sabotage. We get back to with the next three, possibly four Nick books. We're going to be dealing in the future. I'm thinking to do it in three, but it may take four just because the last one's going to be so complicated. Um, but yeah, you get to, and oh, I didn't tell you this. You weren't there. Carol, you're like,
Oh,
I know
good.
how I'm going to end the either trilogy or quadrilogy.
Really?
I have the final scene, and it's gonna blow everybody's mind. It is not what
Oh,
you think. You are
cool.
not gonna bel and I'm gonna tell it to you in case I forget it a year or 2 from now when I come to write that
Yeah,
last
really, when
book.
you get to it.
So I go, "Carol, I know I told you. How was I gonna end this thing?" But it came to me, like, last night when I was walking, doing the laps around the pool table,
And that's
and I
how
was like,
painters develop a story.
right? And it just played out in my head so perfectly. So,
Oh, my
when this
goodness.
is over, I'm
Okay.
calling you to tell you before I forget. I would have called
There
you
you
last
go.
night. If I called you at 1 AM, you'd have shot me.
Hit that speed dial. I think I was just turning off the TV going to sleep.
Oh, well, okay, next time I'll text, "Are you up?"
Oh,
Joanne. Oh, how did I come up with sticks? Or Ash for that matter. I I mean, I think if you read my books, you can tell I did not have a happy childhood. I think it's pretty darn obvious that the way I write angst and stuff, and same thing with Dagger Ixer. Um, I started writing as a little kid because of the crap I had to deal with. When you're in a situation and you have no control at all of your life and everything's been taken from you, um, it's a place of hopelessness that I hate that anybody knows. Um, and I have had to spend way too much of my life in those hopeless, humiliating situations. So, your mind goes to very dark places, sadly, when you're living under somebody else's hammer. And I started writing because that was how I got power. In my real life, couldn't control anything. I was at the mercy of all the people around me. And writing, my world made sense. The evil guys got to pay, which real life, sadly, they don't. You know, so many times they get to go free and live a happy life. Carol believes in karma. I don't. I haven't really witnessed karma do her job. And, I have to grapple with that some days because it is very hard when you're sitting there going, okay, why is this happening to somebody I know doesn't deserve it? And meanwhile, this person who should be spend a weekend with Apollo, shall we say, they get away. And that I've struggled with that most of my life, particularly after I lost my brother. So yeah, that. that is where Sticks comes from. Sadly, what I always tell people is it's not the fiction parts of Sticks that should scare you. It's the parts that weren't, that are my past, and I think you can feel it because the emotion is so strong, and his emotions are so real that you can tell it sadly comes from a place of my past. So I write it because it's cathartic and it helps me make sense of insanity. And then how fast will sabotage take you to write? It took a little while. It's actually done. Sabotage took probably about 8 9 months. That one took a little bit longer because I had to go back read the Nick books, and you know that's the worst part about my divorce. I hate to keep blaming it on the divorce, but really, when you're pulled out of the worlds, I was able to live in Dark Hunter, League, and Nick for ever, for quite a few decades. And then for 5 years I couldn't read anything at all. Well, 4 years I wasn't able to read anything at all. So now, trying to get that creative juice flowing and all, I do. Same thing with Shadows Within. I had to go back and read a couple of the dark. This project actually helped me probably more than anything because it got the world back into my head. It got those gears going again. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it
you
did
guys.
kick a
By
few
the way,
gears. Did
right?
knock the rust off a few gears.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it has helped exponentially. So all the backers of the Kickstarter, bless you for it because you really did help me get back into my stride.
Yeah.
And of course, the one I really have to thank who got me through everything.
That's because we bounced that Kickstarter off and on for like a week,
Well, no, but
maybe
you
2 weeks.
said you held my hand through crap, and you know
And it
that.
worked and it worked and things started moving and going. And yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, Meg, I know, right? And you guys have to remember, we became writers because we were readers first,
Mm-hmm.
and there is
No doubt.
nothing. And I apologize to everybody who's had to wait on a book from me. I'm so sorry because I know yeah, the people who are like, "Where's the book? I haven't read a book from you in years." Or bands are the same way. I'm
Right.
constantly going to iTunes going, "Do they have a new album out yet? Do they have a new album out? I'm dying. I'm dying."
Yeah. I have waited
Okay.
until I picked up a whole other set of authors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, wait. Am I reading that? It looks familiar.
I know, right?
Mm, yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy thing. I mean, you hang in there and wait and wait and wait, but thank you. I love
Sorry,
you.
I'm sitting here reading through the comments.
These are the
I'm
things to
trying to
say.
find what
I know because they're really, really good questions tonight.
I know, right? And it's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see?
Okay, well, and here's it's kind of the similar thing. Um, one of the reasons why, well, again, the thing about Styx and Ash is they mirror each other. They're twins. They were cursed to be bound together forever. So he had to go through everything. And it's weird because me and my brother have parallel lives like that too, which is very, very strange. And we talk about that a lot. Things that just are unbelievable that happened to me happened to him too. A year or two later, or in reverse, they'll happen to him first, and then a year or two later, they hit with me. It's just very strange how, you know. But also, when I was doing Styx, you have to remember too, Styx is a hated, much like Dagger was a very hated character. And there to this day are people who won't read Styx because Ash came first. And, so in order to make him sympathetic, to make it feel like to those people who are very unforgiving, he almost had to suffer more than Ash just to make him sympathetic because he did do some pretty rotten things. Up until his book, though, nobody really realized. Well, Ash hinted at it. If you go all the way back to Night Pleasures, you can see Ash hint that there's some stuff in his past that they would hate him for. But it's not until Sticks that you actually get to see that other side of Ash because the two brothers were at war for so long. And so you kind of needed that mirror between the two of them so that you could feel the sympathy and forgive Styx for what he did to Ash and understand that while Ash is a great, wonderful character, he's not a perfect character. He's not a Mary Sue, or whatever. I know there's a male term for it too. So, it's what I think I like the most about the characters. They are a real person. I love Chloe. That's funny.
Yup, exactly.
There we go. Oh, here we go. Ah, I love my fans because you guys know. Thank you, Joe. I explained how Artemis and what she does now. I knew it was, yeah, it was the one after Sins of the Night. It's Sin's book, which I can't, Devil May Cry. I did remember it. Oh my God. So, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura. She's leaving us. And yes, Corey, yes, I knew, we knew that Tori did break the curse. That's why we know he's not feeding, but and I would say who, but if you guys haven't got that far, I always, even though I know these are books that are old, I hate doing spoilers because I don't know where you guys are in the series. We need to poll y'all. What books have you read?
Yeah, really.
So yeah, yeah. Alrighty. Do. Oh well, help it may in the second half.
Yeah, see?
I just read. Yeah, I know.
It kind of
Wait,
bounced
I
around.
can't remember reading that, and I just read and rewrote two books. I should remember, but my brain has moved on. Do you get that weird amnesia, Carol, after you finish
Yes.
a book? Where you're like,
Yes.
what did I put
I'm
in it?
scared to death somebody asked me something after I finished and I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, well, I do okay when I've just finished it, but if you go back like four or five, and then my brain's like, wait, what book was that in?
that's right.
I
One
remember the
detail.
scene. Yeah, I
One
know the scene
detail out of
vividly.
a book this big.
Oh yeah,
Scares me
well,
to death.
yeah, or yeah.
Yeah, see that one thing.
You're like, wait, yeah. James, they are working on it. I have no news at the moment other than we are closer than we have ever been. And that's all I'm allowed to tell you guys at this moment. So hopefully soon. Oh no, it
As you
died. Oh
touched it
well,
again.
I did. Oh my god. Hang on. Wait, I gotta fix this because it oh my god, it fell in an ugly manner. It
You're gonna have
fell.
to
It
use your
fell.
heavy duty stand.
I have them. They're just, it's still packed
Yeah.
from.
In a box that we packed them in a couple weeks ago.
I know, right? Heather, you get a semi box. If you look here, it's Queen of all shadows. Nope, ignore that. Yearofasheron.com. If you go to yearofasheron.com, you can click on the pre-order button. It'll take you to where you can get the boxes. All right, I'm gonna
Mm.
let you answer this one, Carol.
Hmm. Since I write contemporary, there's not a whole lot of world building.
You have
Um,
world building. No, you do. You've got world building with their universe.
maybe I guess I
No,
just
you.
think of my experiences, and so the experiences are there, which is contemporary, which is today. I have had to update some things, like there are no, I don't have any call boxes. I don't have any payphones, things like that that you go and now you have to go through and take out because that ages the book. But um, when you go back and because when you get to the book and you finish it and you set aside and thank you, I'm going for chocolate. It's time. Then you come back to it. Then when you read it, your brain will glitch when it sees something. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense there. So either I need to explain what that was, or does it need to be there? We'll take that out and see if it smooths out that read. If that movie in your brain keeps forming all of the scenes and everybody's still flowing back and forth, that's how that's how I know how to go through and put what to put in and what to leave out. But I won't find it until I go over it the second time. So that once I get it all out, unless something glitches right when I'm writing it, like he would never say that. Stop. Okay, how about you go get a cup of coffee and then come back over here and say, okay, now we disconnected somehow. What's going on with you? What's going on with me? And then get back to that character and go back into it. Then we'll go through and do that. As far as world building, I'm not going to go through and tell you that we're all driving um, army green Hummers with no back seats, with this kind of stuff. Nobody really needs to know that. What you need to know is what I'm using that Hummer for, and that means that I'm going to be hopping over railroad tracks, and my shotgun seat is going to be fully loaded, and they're going to be shooting. And so that's what you need to know, and most people will grasp that. Don't ever talk down to a reader. So don't over explain, don't mansplain, don't woman-splain. I don't know how you want to get them, but that just don't talk down
Author
to the reader.
explain.
Don't
Don't
author
author
explain, and don't author
info
explain to the
dump.
people.
Don't info dump.
Yep, there you go.
But yet there are times you have to info dump, and I always like a character in the middle of a mental breakdown to do that. Because there's
See, this
nothing
is
to get
true.
information across like a good rant.
There you go.
Y'all go off on those from time to
I
time.
didn't think about that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
no, a good rant will always suffice when you need an info dump.
When you're smashing ceramics up against the wall and stomping
Yes,
around.
and I'd have been okay, but for fill in the blank. I okay, we know that I have way too much world building because apparently I don't like to sleep.
You
My
do have a
doctor
huge amount.
my doctor asked me about that. He's like, "Well, tell me about this chronic insomnia." And I'm like, "It's because I like to build worlds." And my
Oh
brain
my.
shuts down when
Oh
I do
my.
it. It's terrible. I stay up for days and always have. But no, like Carol said, I mean, it's neat to know. You don't want to put. There are all kinds of. In spite of how I think I've been pretty thorough with Dark Hunter and with League particularly, but there's still so much more. I wish you guys knew that I couldn't shoehorn in because it didn't fit into the plot. Don't over explain because you don't want. One of the things to remember, and this is what I grapple with as an author, is you know I don't want to hit you with so much because there are so many, especially Dark Hunter, where I've got 13, 14,000 characters. I can't trot everybody. I think we talked about this a little bit last week. I can't
Mhm.
trot everybody in and tell you everybody's life story. So, that's why you don't get every character in every book. I have to cherry pick who comes and who goes. And same thing with facts. Don't give me a history lesson. Like right now, I'm working on, or I'm not working. I finished the World War II book, but that's why I was saying when you were talking about world building, no, you do because it's history, but there was a lot of world building I had to do. I had to create a specific spy ring. I have a resistance group, and that's actually the same kind of skills that I use when I'm setting up a whole universe. So there was a definite correlation. There is some world building, and so yeah, there are times where I know so much more about World War II, but you don't need to know how the resistance line, the possum line ran in France. You don't even really, for the purpose of the book, you don't even need, I don't need to talk about the possum line or just so many other details that I would love to put in there, but they didn't fit. So keep it to need to know. And then I have to answer this one real quick. Do that. Powers, Artemis fell from ash when she was feeding from him Wayne. Example, can she not make more DHs? The thing is, she's feeding from somebody who's well, I won't say every bit, who's almost as strong. So, yes, she could still make more DHs, but then she has a different power dynamic right now with who she's feeding from. So, yeah, she doesn't have ashes. Those powers are out of her bloodstream, but she now has somebody who is also very strong. So, and here's a good one. I'm going to let you go first, Miss Carol.
Yeah, that kind of goes. No, see, writ myself in a corner.
Have you really never written yourself in a corner? I'm going to slap you.
I don't see because until they tell me what to write, I don't know what to put down. So I was trying to think if I was ever in a corner.
Oh my god, I've been in so many corners. That's why I want to live in a donut-shaped house. It's true.
I don't know how I could. How weird is that? I don't even remember that in
Oh,
school. I don't remember anybody ever pointing that out to me. Like you run to a dead end here and then you picked up somewhere else. Because that's
now,
what it kind of suggests to me.
well, not to me, writing yourself in a corner, it's where you're like, okay, and I just did this in the book that I'm working on. So
No.
where you're like, oh my God, I killed somebody I shouldn't have killed. And how do I get the character out of this? Because I needed that character. Well, like I'll go back to Seize the Night when I killed off oh my gosh, Kareem. And you're like, I needed that character. I had plans for you. I could resuscitate them, but no, I need them to die. But and then it's like being in a crossroad, and I can go this path, that path, that path, this path. Where do I go? I don't know where to go because my story just took a weird turn. And Maddie goes through it a lot too. What I tell him is go with it because there's a reason you may not understand that your brain put that in there. Write it out.
Huh.
So you've really never done that?
No. No, because true answer. They dictate and I write. It's just their story coming out. So because they have it so clear in their head, is it weird? It's like being being somebody with split personality. When I sit down to go through a book, then that personality goes through and says, okay, well, I'm about to go through and take over. So you just sit down for a minute and I'm gonna go through and do this. So then that's what I do. I go to town. And then when I take a break, then I just slide right back into it again because they're still actively telling me what's going on. So one act leads to the next act, leads to the next act. So it's a domino effect. And I don't really have any missing dominoes because if I have missing dominoes because they took them out, and then we just go on with the story or we jump to I don't know. It's a weird.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know. I like your
I
thing.
don't think we answered that question, but we
Yeah,
tried.
I like your thing. It could be on that one all night.
Are you going to write as Kinley McGregor again? Probably not,
I
only
asked that years
because
ago.
yeah, well, will I write Kinley-like books? Yes. I intend to do historicals. I love writing historicals. I've got a couple more ideas I really want to do. Will I ever use that pen name again? Probably not. Just because, and we had this a couple of episodes back about whether or not you should write under a pen name, and I think it's irritating for the fans because really you should be able to pull my name up and get every book I've written. And early on back because I started publishing. Thank you, my publishers, but I started publishing back in the day where if you every time you wrote a different genre, they wanted you to use a different name for it, which is why I had Kinley McGregor and Sherrilyn Kenyon to begin with. Um, my because I had published first Sherrilyn Kenyon, it was paranormal. When I sold the historicals, they're like, "Yeah, that'll be confusing. We don't want to do that. We need a new pseudonym for the historical stuff." So I wrote those under Kinley. And then when I finally, after a decade and a half of trying to sell Dark Hunter, the Kinley McGregor company was like, "You can't use Kinley. She only writes historicals." It's like, she is me. You know that, right? So they wouldn't allow me to write anything paranormal under Kinley. So the new company's like, "Well, let's go back to Kenyon. Maybe you have a couple of fans still left." I'm like, I'm so insulted. But yeah, so yes, I will. I intend to write historicals. I've got a couple of ideas if I live long enough to see them through. But I doubt that they would be under Kinley McGregor at this point.
You always get found out anyway.
Yeah.
All it takes is one book distributor. It's all over.
See, you guys are arguing with me. I know the characters, I promise. You don't know who she's currently feeding from, but I do. Which is why I'm not going to tell you, but yes.
Okay, there you go.
How she creates dark hunters for powers of resurrection. She just, I'll do the quick explanation for this. As long as she's getting blood and powers from somebody, or sharing powers from someone who can do resurrection, and we'll leave it at that.
We are right at an hour.
I know, I
Graham,
know.
there's so many questions.
I know there's so many more, and it's like, ah, ah, but we won't be
And some
here
people
next
have
week.
signed off for the night.
Aw. But we are not going to be here, right?
Yeah,
We're
no, we'll be on our way to Williamsburg,
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yes. So, hey,
So
guys, those of you in the Virginia area, come out because we're going to have fun. We'll have a booth. It's what's the name? Authors That Care. It's all for charity.
yeah,
So come on
I just
out.
have
We're
it
going to
done
have
to
a great time.
AuthorCon, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's Scares That Care, and so it
Yeah,
should
there
be
you
a
go.
whole lot of
Yeah.
fun. Come out and see us in Williamsburg. That is one of my. We both have lived there. It's one of my favorite places in all the world.
Mine too when it's not tourist season.
Or you're getting arrested.
Or we're getting arrested. Yeah, that's a wild and woolly place, y'all.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. There are so
Okay,
many.
I know. I do have to answer this one real quick. I don't know. I would love to. I've thought about it, but I don't know. If he tells me, he will. But anyway, thank you guys again for spending another hour.
Yeah.
We'll be back the week after though, right? This time
Yeah, I
next week
think we're
we're
clear.
in Virginia.
We'll be clear until
And
Artpreneur, I think, on that one.
okay, cool. So we will
Yeah.
be back. We're skipping next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. So until then, I'll see you next month. Oh my gosh. But
Yes.
yeah, yay. You guys take care. Thank you for babysitting me through.
Yeah, are we to the end? Is it going to be April Fools after April Fools
Three,
before we talk
yeah,
to y'all
I got
again? Yeah.
3 hours to go. 3 hours to
I-
midnight.
You got this,
No, wait.
baby.
Wait, how many? I can't do math. It is three. I'm holding
Yeah,
up four
yeah,
fingers.
yeah.
I can't count. This is, yeah. Anyway,
Because it's 9 o'clock.
did I mention I only had
On
two
the
and a half
East Coast,
hours
that's
of
3 hours. If you were over
In
yonder,
my,
the whole.
but in my defense, I had 2.5 hours of sleep last night. So, but I do have to call you and tell you that real quick before
Yes,
I
yes.
go
So
back
I can
to
get
work.
get those notes down.
Yes.
Definitely.
Anyway, you guys take care. We'll see y'all next time.
Yep. Y'all be safe. Have a great April Fools.
Absolutely.
Hope
That's my
spring is
sister's
there.
birthday. Did
Finally.
you know that? Did you know that was
What?
my sister's birthday?
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah, no, okay, we'll tell this story, then we'll go. No, my mother's in labor, calling my dad, who I think was on maneuvers, going, I'm in labor, Hank." And my dad's like, "Psst, April Fools, I know how you are. You're no, no, no." So he refused to leave post while my mom's in labor. My mother never let him forget that.
Oh, no, I bet
So
not.
if it's
I
April
bet not.
Fool, right? If it's April Fools and your wife says to you, "I'm in labor," believe her.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, you guys all take
Crazy.
care.
Yeah. Y'all be careful. Be careful out there.